Seelbach, are you ready to unseal your box? Seelbach, are you ready to unseal your box? Seelbach, are you ready to unseal your box?
Well, everyone watching this may not realize, but we've started testing around some different things. We've done this video live. We're now doing it and giving ourselves the intro video. And for whatever reason, it just makes this seem so much more official. Brian, I hope you feel the same way.
I do feel the same way. Look, we can still cut that out and put the real trailer in, so it's got the episode number on there. But like a TV show host, I'm starting to realize getting the intro gets you pumped up and ready to go. And I'm so ready to go that I might jump down below, smash that like button, and subscribe to the channel myself, just so I don't miss, like you don't want to miss, all of the weekly reviews and things that we have coming out here on the site with Seelbach.
That is so true. So subscribed myself a few weeks ago. Love everything so far. So no, it's another big week here at Seelbach. So we're excited to dive in, and yeah, let's jump straight into it, because I know by this point, we're recording this early. I'm going to be out of town next week. But by this point, I'll have had a lot of emails already saying, hey, where's the case deal? It's Q3 now. Where's the Q2 case deal? Good news. Case deal is coming to you Monday, that'll be July 13th. So if you're unfamiliar with the Seelbach case deal, what we do here at Seelbach is we do a lot of picks. We know we bring in a lot of different products, and this is kind of our way of giving back and also clearing up inventory in our warehouse, where if we have things that are sitting for a little bit longer, maybe there's 2 cases left, maybe there's only 1 case left. Every quarter, we combine all of those into one collection and basically give you a buy 3, get 3 free. So 6 bottles, you get the 3 cheapest bottles for free. And we think of it in 2 ways. Of one, with there being so much, we know you're not going to find everything or every email where you just want to go and purchase. So it gets you really good craft spirits, and it's a great deal. So it's just, if you're stocking up on a bottle you love, or just grabbing a bottle because it's in the case deal, you're on the fence, and this is what gets you over that finish line to try out this product. We're always excited to do this, and it's always really popular on the site.
Yeah, I feel like we always end up using the line, you just said it, about, this is something that we do because we have a lot of picks, and some of those we have the excess. We always try to hit on that point. But I think another point worth mentioning too, because we see it every single time, is that we do understand that for majority of people, we're always here every week talking about brand new releases, and we understand too, it can get expensive. And so I'm never surprised to see certain bottles that I might think are a little bit pricey. They're some of the first ones to go as soon as we do these case deals. And so one of the things that I love the most about doing the case deal too is to know that there are still great whiskeys out there that just might be a little bit price prohibitive for some folks. And so being able to lower that barrier a little bit through the case deal is a great way to do liquid to lips and get some folks trying some things again. Yes, stock your bar back up. Or again, there's some folks that I know who are like, hey, if that bottle's there, I'm going to grab it because I loved it. I want to bring it in. But also, it allows you hopefully to, yeah, exactly. It allows you to browse the collection and say, hey, what are some things that I wanted to take a flyer on, but I didn't because of the price. This helps a little bit. Case deals back. So yes, we didn't do it for 4th of July. We've had a lot of releases come in, and a lot of big releases, admittedly, coming in as we've closed out Q2. So we had a little bit of breather, but now we're back with it.
And that's the main thing, is here at Seelbach, we claim to be the best in the game at finding craft whiskey, making sure there's good products. We never claim to be good business people as well. So just take advantage of that and jump in on the case deal. But no, we typically run that for about 24 to 48 hours. So, we'll send the email, probably send you a reminder, but it will only be open for that 24 to 48 hour timeline. So jump in while you can. And then next up in the week, Another fun one that you're probably familiar with if you're watching this video, which is APW. APW is come on really strong over the last probably year and a half, 2 years. It is from Derek Trucks, who's a member of the band Tedeschi Trucks with his wife Susan. So if you're a fan of music, you probably know that name. If you're a fan of really cool whiskey, you probably know the APW name. And I love these releases just because, one, they've been putting out some really great bourbon, but it all comes in 200 mLs. So then that way you can put it in your back pocket. This one is an 11-year, Lot 6 is an 11-year-old bourbon. I believe it's from Indiana. And so you've got
this is Kentucky straight bourbon.
Oh, they switched to Kentucky. Look at that.
11-year Kentucky straight bourbon.
I'm wrong.
100 proof for this one.
Yeah. Actually, they haven't had
78, 13.9.
Ooh. Huh. Well, that piques my interest even more because, well, I guess it's not my NDA that I would have signed, but I'll just tell people to go ahead and Google that mash bill because I'm a huge fan of that mash bill. We have used that multiple times. Actually, we've used it in this bottle. So I know personally that those are some incredible barrels. And Brian, you got a chance to try this actual batch too, right?
Yeah, I mean, so you already hit the nail on the head. These I need to check for while I'm talking what the price is on these 2-packs. So these do come in. This one, I think they'll have them as singles as well as 2-packs. Again, they are 200 ml. I like this because, again, I've been one. We've said it before, like having these smaller offerings, like the distilleries doing these 375 offerings, things like that. 200 ml falls in that. I like being able to get bottles just to try a little bit and not have to have a full bottle's worth. Specifically, last year when they did the 15-year, that was the most affordable way for people to try that 15-year juice that was on the market. This 11-year, I feel like people could be like, hey, it's proof down though. It's not cask strength, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a cask strength like loyalist. And I have really enjoyed the APW so far. I had said last year, their search release, which was it that 10-year Indiana? I was like, hey, this could be somebody's whiskey of the year. It actually placed really well in my end of the year list. I won't get into all that. It did really well. I usually like all of these releases. The 11-year, also great. The 100 proof, I feel like for this mash bill, kind of maybe rolls off some of the attack that can happen at cask strength with these barrels. And instead, you just get all of the good flavor that comes from an 11-year-old heritage Kentucky bourbon. I mean, my notes here are there's a lot. There's a lot going on. Still a lot of fruit, a lot of oak and toffee, nice custardy finish, but still has some smoked cherry and some other sugary notes to it. I mean, this is good. Someone was up in the office last week or the week before, and I let them try that, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's good. And I think that's what I like about these APW releases. They're just so easy to drink.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think. And talking to Derek and his team, he's got a really great palate. I'm sure I've told this story before, but had a chance to drink with them, and I'm like, oh, kind of what we talked about with Jim Gaffigan and Father Time as well. I'm like, oh, you're just a whiskey enthusiast that is also a celebrity that then went into creating your own brand. Like, this is really cool. I mean, he was pulling out some of the A.H. Hirsch stuff from like the early 90s and bottles I've never tried. I'm like, dude, I've been doing this a long time and you have some things that I have never tried. This is really cool to see. But to your point on the proofing down, like a lot of those older bottles, they weren't at cask strength. They were incredible and great drinkers at a somewhat proof down version. And that's where I think they always find that balance where I think this, what is this? 107 proof.
This one's 100.
100, still over 100, still triple digits, but you still just get a softness and a little more rounded flavor profile because it is proof down slightly.
Plus, I don't think that we'd really want to see Derek Trucks go out for a show after he's been pounding 200 ml of cask strength 11 year. I think his
I mean,
his slide would turn more
mhm,
into like
yeah.
a drang, which actually sounds
I'd
pretty
like to
tight.
see it once. I'd like to see it once, just how that would go down. But yeah, probably not the best idea from a performance standpoint. But yeah, so that'll be most likely midweek for APW Lot 6. And then that leads us to our next release, which is one that we always love, one that I believe you just rant and raved about last year to the point where we had to get more of it back in because it sold so fast. But this is Dancing Goat. If you don't know Dancing Goat, they're an independent bottler out of Wisconsin, and they're fun guys, good personalities, and I feel like it sounds a little cliche to be like, oh, their personalities really come through in the whiskey. But in this case, it does. Like, they're trying different things out. They have some great bottles. So we have the Spaniard and the Rye for You. And what I love about what they're doing is it's fun, it's really good, and it's really well priced. So the Spaniard is 100% corn whiskey, total age of 11 years, finished in Spanish oak. It's at 114.4 proof. And then the I Would Rye for You is the 95.5 rye, the MGP mash bill. This is the third release. This was finished in port casks. And I think this is the one where last year where you were just like, man, don't even make a cocktail, just pour I Would Rye for You because it is so delicious. It's like a midwinter's night dram killer. I think we even said in the last email. So happy to have this next round of Dancing Goat back on the site.
Yeah, I feel like I always end up making a video or bring back out a video, and I'm probably about to record another video that always does that type of mention about that being, hey, you should have that instead of chasing Midwinter Night Jam. I don't know if people still are doing that, but I feel like I still see that hype out there, and it just consistently is a great finished rye. I will say both these 11 years old, are these still in the same price points where we've had them before?
Mm-hmm.
So I will say this is what I like about these releases. And again, this kind of is a bit about, why I appreciate what Seelbach does too. When we first brought these whiskeys onto the site, it's when they're 7 years old. So however many releases they've done between then and now, the Spaniard, the first time the Spaniard came on the site was, and I tell the story in the email, was a single barrel that Drew and I did for Intra Proof podcast. 7 years old, corn whiskey. I didn't even know. I mean, I was actually torn on it. It was such a profile I didn't know how to even describe because it had these bold flavors, but also it's like, but this is different. It's unique. It's like, it's earthy, but it's sweet. What is this? Again, corn whiskey finished in Spanish oak barrels. It's now 11 years old. I don't have to say this, but like, I feel like this one is the best it has been in those versions. Like the 7 year was its own thing, but even last year, I think I liked it, but it had more earthiness to it. This one is just really tasty. I had blinded this on several people downstairs the week before last, and all of them were like, this has got to be some mid-teens heritage release of something, right? And I'm like, it's actually, I was like, how much do you think this bottle, how much do you think based on the taste of this, do you think that this bottle costs? That's what I said. I said, what do you think? What do you think about it? How old do you think it is? How much do you think it is? And they're like, I think that this has to be like some mid-age turkey release. How much do you think it is? Well, based on the turkey releases, it's like a $200 bottle. I'm like, what if I told you this was an 11-year corn whiskey that's $60? They're like, sign me up. I mean, this is a really fun bottle. And then again, I Would Rye for You, first on the site, also was 7 years old. It's now 11 years old. And I think it just gives you still all of the vibrant old rye characteristics that we like, mixed with that port that just makes it so rich and juicy. This one's not as, do you remember, you can't tell, but like some of these we've gotten have been like red. This one's not as red. So this one's definitely probably not the cocktail in the glass, but it's very, very good. This is already in line for one of my favorite finished ryes of the year. So
I feel like that's we need to make Dancing Goat their own 30 for 30. It's like oh, this drink's so rich and depth of flavor, all this stuff. What if I told you that this bottle was only 69 or 59.99?
Exactly.
Coming this week at Seelbach.
Yeah,
I'll do the voiceover. I'll get my
that's
radio
right.
voice on. But no, like we said, I mean, I feel like we could talk about this one even more, just because we do love those great prices and the fact that they've remained the same. In Spanish Oak, I mean, I found just within our own Seelbach's private reserve stuff, I've had some stuff in Spanish Oak where I'm like, did I just waste all this? And for whatever reason, it just takes longer on the finish. But once it hits this point, it's just all this like antique oak flavor, super rich dried cherries. And, you know, you've seen a little bit of that in like the Rebecca Creek and some others, but there aren't many people doing Spanish oak. So, you know, when you get a chance to try it, I would definitely grab a bottle.
Yeah. And
And
again,
then,
oh, no, go ahead.
no, go ahead. What were we going to say?
I was just going to say, these are the type of releases that I feel like we always look forward to. And like, if you're one of the people out here watching these videos and you're always saying like, I don't necessarily want to keep chasing the heritage, what are like the great value, like the kind of not miss releases, like these fall into that camp. There, we run into things like this throughout the year. We try and make sure to highlight them. If you're one who's like, I want to make sure that I have great whiskey, not, you know, that's a little off the beaten path or whatever, both of these releases every year fall into that camp.
Yeah. And so for this next release, I'm just going to do one thing. I'm going to take a sip and I'm just going to talk about how this bourbon is. There's so much going on. It's like custardy up front with a lot of just like almost syrupy, like the cane syrup, but these dried cherry notes, like this really deep, rich fruit note. And from there, I'm going to say, Brian, what bottle's coming next?
Gosh, I don't even know. I mean,
did I tell you what bottle's coming next?
it sounds delicious. I'm going to think new release, syrupy. I'm going to guess maybe the Pursuit Honey Hog.
This is Beyke's Blue Double Oak Batch 2. So with that, I mean, and most people probably remember we've done a couple different Beyke's releases. It's all blue corn bourbon. We did the Double Oak last December, and we've been sitting on this one. So we've been working on it for a while with the blend and everything else. Brian's come to Jacksonville and tasted, sent samples back and forth. And well, I don't want to spoil all the fun, so I'll let you tell everybody what the fun call outs on this bottle are.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we did, you know, we've done a couple of batches of Beyke's Blue. The ones that we've had, blue labels kind of proof down a little bit. We just actually last week or the week before sold out of the last one that we had on the site. We'll see if we have a little bit more of the batch coming in, but we did the one Double Oak batch around Christmas last year. And we've been out of it for a while. We've had a lot of people like, hey, how do I get that? Especially in the sampler set too. People can taste it in the sampler set. So people have been able to try it again. We went back for batch 2 of Double Oaked. What I like to try and do with Beyke's Double Oaked is not necessarily give you another product that tastes like a Double Oak that you normally get on the market. My goal is to say, hey, how can we add some age depth profile to this to mimic the trajectory of what blue corn, what I think the blue corn will taste like as it matures while we wait for barrels to mature. And so by doing that, we do some interesting blending of both finished and unfinished. We do what we've called backset blending. So backset blending is we save some of the previous batch of whatever we work on to go into it to kind of continue a little bit of a through line of flavor from batch to batch. So we have some of that going on. We have one that was, I want to say nearly a year. I don't think it hit that year mark of a Zach Cooperage aged or Double Oaked, excuse me, with Beyke's Blue. When we first got those barrels in, this barrel was heavy, it was hefty, and then we brought out another new unfinished Beyke's as well that also still matched it with all these big fruit intense notes without the kind of double oaking process as well. And through the marriage of all those things, I feel like that helps give both depth and vibrancy kind of together that doesn't come off overly double oaky. All the barrels are 7 at this point in time. And what we decided to do also with this one, so we always put on the label bottled for the drinker, and like we try and work on it for balance, and then bottle for the drinker. And through that, we're always trying to navigate where we want the proof to be, where it drinks the best, because I don't necessarily always feel like cask strength does that. There's a way to massage the flavor to give room for the whiskey just to be experienced the way it's supposed to. With this batch specifically, though, it just did not want to be proofed down. It didn't want to take the water. It had, where we had the blend from the beginning just worked so well together. And I don't feel like you lost any of its positive attributes, and you didn't gain anything from proofing it down. So you only kind of had more negatives, I felt like. So this will be the first, it's the second double oak batch. It's the first cask strength double oak batch. And I think this one's going to be pretty dang tasty.
Well, I think that's the big call outs on this one. It's the first age stated, first time the age has been on the bottle at 7+ years old, and the first cask strength version of Beyke's double oaked. And I think the whole back set blending, while at first we were kind of like, does this just sound kind of gimmicky? And then every time we've tried to work that into a batch, it somehow just tastes better with it in the batch. So I think there is something to that as well, where you're pulling some of those flavors forward, but then you're amplifying them through the new barrels, whether that's double oaked or an unfinished barrel. And this one, and I know you're big on this, where we had some options where, yes, this could have just tasted super double oaked, but you're very focused on making sure this just tastes like a very enhanced, rich, full flavor bourbon, and not just like, oh yeah, that's double oaked. And that's what I think this is, where a lot of people, if they tried it blind, may not call out specifically, hey, this is something double oaked. It's more of, it tastes more aged, it tastes more rounded and more complex because of the double oaked. And we're not just putting double oaked on the label and making it just taste super woody. So excited for this bottle to release, just because I feel like it is complex. It's got a great story behind it. The whiskey's fantastic. And if people only knew how much went into everything behind these blends, like these are not just grab those barrels over there, throw them in a tote, and let's start bottling. I mean, we've even let this blend rest for probably 4 to 5 weeks, just because we think that amplifies the flavor as well. When the whiskey has time to sit and marry in a tote and really come together and have some oxidation. So it'll be a great one and a great way to close out our week. So we will see everybody on Thursday and Friday. Thursday for Pro, Friday for Main on that Beyke's Double Oak batch 2.
Yeah, this is a fun one. Look at sight, I don't even know. So
yeah. Well, cool. Well, that'll wrap us for another big week here. So, Brian, as always, thanks for joining me, and we will see everyone next week.
Adios, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.